Hi, my name is Masha, I'm the blonde from Cody Blonde, and today I want to talk about morning routines. And tell you more about the morning routine that I've developed living this crazy travel digital nomad life. Morning routines, the concept of morning routines has always been fascinating to me, but I never got to experience mornings because I called myself a night owl. And in fact, I was a night owl, and most of my family was night owls. The most productive work I did at any point throughout my, I guess, from childhood until I was 26, 27, I was doing it at night. So 10 p.m. onwards was my most productive time. And that meant that, when it was time to go to bed, if I wanted to go to bed before midnight, I barely had any time to work. I would wake up very late, I would go to sleep very late. It was a constant cycle of being tired, not having a morning, not being productive, and all that stuff. But when I moved to the US, I started waking up early because the routine there, from what I saw, was slightly shifted. It was different to what it was in Europe. In Europe, you could get up to work at 10 a.m. and that was a normal, time in some places, in some companies. At least, it was accepted at Google when I was there to get to work, to get to your office from 9 till 10. That was just, breakfast was at that time, so it was kind of normal. In the US, the day is shifted towards the morning from my experience, and my boyfriend was waking up at 5:30, 6 in the morning to go to the gym and then go to the office and be the first one at the office. But this is the person that I was living with now, and I was kind of following his routine. Yes, I would sleep in a bit longer maybe, but I would still get up very early and I would still go to sleep very early. So my routine has shifted completely, and that's when I was like, right, let's do something with my morning routine because I have all this spare time. I've heard about the benefits of having a morning routine and setting yourself up for the day in a very positive and productive manner. So why don't we do this? So I started searching and I asked my followers on Instagram on their tips about, how to go about morning routines and building one. And the advice that was probably the most frequent was to read this book called The Miracle Morning. So I did that. I loved it. It was talking all about the benefits of a morning routine, right? And it gave you some exercises to do. I'm not going to lie, I don't remember the exact order and the exact exercises that it gave you, but I followed that. It had a 30-day challenge because 30 days is what it takes for normal activities that you trigger by something every day to become a habit. So I was doing that. I started doing those activities and I loved it. It wasn't necessarily the best morning routine for me, but I was introduced to these routines, to these exercises, and I absolutely loved it. First of all, I've never done journaling before. I've been always curious about it, but I've never done that before, or affirmations or visualizations. All those things that this book gave me, I was very grateful for. So I did that, and then I kind of went in and out of it. I didn't really find a combination that was good for me, nor was I guess, proactively doing that because I had other stabilities in my life at the time. I didn't need a stable morning, even though there's so many benefits to it. I read another book that I've made a video about already, so I'll link it here for those of you who want to watch it. It's called Free to Focus. It tells you about how to be more productive for the sake of freeing up your time and doing things you love, not, for the sake of being more productive, to be more productive, to be more productive, to, get more stuff done, put more on your to-do list and all that stuff. No. It talks about how to focus on things that you really love doing and you're really good at. You can watch that video here. But I read that, and it also talked about morning routines as a way to automate your brain to get into a state, into a mode. So for example, you are waking up right now, right? Just coffee on its own won't necessarily do it. Yes, coffee will help, but you know, to an extent. I was like, okay, that's it. I need to have a morning routine, especially now that I'm going to be traveling. And I'm telling you, traveling is great, but you are searching for constant variables in your life, something that is the same every single time. And if I can create that with my morning, amazing. All right, so let's get to what I do in the morning right now. Again, this is what works for me. Something else might work for you, but I would recommend just searching and trying out different things and feeling what feels right. I start my day with, I wake up, I brush my teeth. It doesn't have to be immediately as you get out of bed, right? That's what I guess my biggest stopper was, my biggest roadblock up until now, but you don't have to do that. So I wake up, I brush my teeth, I put on clothing, I talk to my boyfriend. I even check my phone sometimes. I know it's a big no-no in the mindfulness and morning routine gurus, and then I go somewhere where I can be more or less alone, and I started with meditation. And I use Headspace for meditation because it's an app that I was told about the first time I started meditating, the first time I even learned about mindfulness back during my time at Google when we were doing this amazing training called Search Inside Yourself. It was awesome. But basically I started using Headspace, and that's kind of what I stuck to. But there are a ton of different apps out there, and you can also do guided meditation through YouTube and all that stuff. So there's so many different ways in which you can meditate. I use Headspace and I choose different meditations according to what I am feeling like in that day. But I will link a quick guide to mindfulness apps in the description in case if you want to check out what apps are out there. So go do that after the video, scroll down and check out that guide. But yeah, I start with a meditation. I normally do 5 minutes. 5 minutes is, I think, it's not long, but it's effective enough to really ground you and make you calm. So I think my biggest thing with meditation is that my head is constantly buzzing with different thoughts and ideas, and I feel like sometimes I might have ADD, right? Because I would switch between different thoughts and different topics like this. I don't know whether it's actual ADD or not. I've never gotten checked, but meditation makes you get rid of all those thoughts. It's nice to have that stillness, it's nice to have that clarity, it's nice to really feel as one with your body, because a lot of the times I feel like, at least for me, right, I'm only talking for myself, maybe other people experience life in a different way, but I feel like I live up here, I live in my head, and my body is just attached to me, right? This is just my body. But when you meditate and when you feel really in your body, it's just so refreshing. It's just so nice to understand that this is your body, this is what you have, and you start treating it in a different way. So you start exercising, eating healthy and all that stuff, because it's you, it's you. You're not here, this is you. Meditation, I do that for 5 minutes, and I use an app called Headspace. Again, there'll be a list of different apps that you can use in the description. After that, I switched to journaling. Different people approach journaling in different ways. I just write a page about what is going on in my life, what I have on my mind, just to get those thoughts out on the paper. And I found that the more I do that, the less crazy thoughts, like interwoven thoughts I have. Unless something has just happened that, is very much on my mind, then my mind is becoming clearer and clearer the more I do it. So it's awesome. And I write a page in a little notebook. So it doesn't take very long. And then I do gratitude. So I list 5 things that I'm grateful for that day, in that moment, in general. So for example, today I was writing down things about my family, about my boyfriend, all these things that are just on my mind and what I'm grateful for. It's always nice to remind yourself of what you're grateful for, because it makes you happier. And if you want to learn more about how to be happier and all these exercises that you can do today, I've also made another video. You can check it out using the link up here. Gratitude, I write 5 things that I'm grateful for. And after that, I write my daily intention. And it's just a sentence. Today, I intend to finish finish X, right? Or today I want to make the most kick-ass X. So it's just nice because sometimes we have so much on our to-do list that our days feel daunting, but this way you can kind of streamline it into one thing and you're like, okay, today, this is my focus. So I love that. It's super easy, super nice, and it's just one sentence. And finally, affirmations. I've learned about affirmations from the Miracle Morning. That was the first time I've ever done them before. And they're basically these phrases that you tell yourself to feel more confident about a subject, or I don't know, just feel better about a subject. So they're very personal and they can change depending on what you're focusing on. And that's exactly what I did with my affirmations. When I first started them, they were more around my self-image and my body image and all that stuff, because I was feeling very sensitive in the time around that topic. So I specifically created them around that topic, and it was awesome. Yes, I didn't want to say them out loud when people were around, but I would either say them out loud when people were not around, and I make sure that I do that a couple of times. So what I would recommend, and what I do, is write out a couple of statements that are empowering around that topic. So for example, I'm powerful and confident and beautiful, and I don't need any external validation to be confident in myself. I'm confident and I love myself. I don't know, I just came up with that from the top of my head. It's not, I guess, ideal. My affirmations are already upstairs. I've already put them away because, I keep that journal private. But I can share one in the description that I normally use, so that you can see. But yeah, so write down a few sentences, a few statements that you read out every morning, and it makes you feel better about the topic that you're not necessarily super confident about. So yeah, that is my 5-step morning routine, and it lasts me, I guess, 15 minutes, and that's it. And I'm done, and I feel so much better about my day. I don't know, whenever I have a chance to do that routine, I just feel so much lighter. I feel so much more productive already at the beginning of the day, and that sets me up for a much better day. Some of the benefits that I see in doing morning routines every day is, well, first of all, it's a constant, right? You have something constant if your life is going crazy, like mine, in terms of changing locations all the time and all those good things. It also automatically sends a signal to your brain that the day is started. If you are doing it every morning, if your brain gets used to this automation, it's going to be an automation for you and your brain. It sets you up for a productive day, right? So I'm not an expert when it comes to meditation and mindfulness things, but people say how good of an effect they have on you, and I can feel it in myself, right? I'm just not able to verbalize it to the same extent that these people would. It's just so good for you, and it sets you up for this lighter, happier day because you're already grateful for things. You've already gotten things out of your mind. You've already had this moment of stillness. It's amazing. And then finally, you can make it yourself, and you can come up with exercises that work for you, right? And they can range from, I don't know, exercise, like actually running and working out, to reading something, right? When was the last time you read something? You can read something during those times, and even if it's a couple of pages, it's better than nothing. So yeah, whatever floats your boat is good. Morning routines are awesome. You should try them. And if you would like to learn more about what mindfulness apps are out there, make sure to check out the link in my description, where I will link my free quick guide to mindfulness apps. And finally, I will add an affirmation that I've used before in the description as well, in case if you're wondering what that stuff is all about. So like this video if you've enjoyed it, and make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and we can also be friends on other social media. You can find me as Coding Blonde. Have a wonderful time of the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.